Hello everyone and welcome back to Love English. So happy new year. I hope your 2024 is going well so far, and I hope that you have started as you mean to go on, which of course means to start in the way that you hope you will continue. So I hope you have done that. I myself have been trying to do dry January, which means that you basically quit alcohol for the entire month of January, which for us in the West, where we do like a drink, it can be quite tricky, and I've mostly succeeded, but I did have one cheat day. But I feel like that's not too bad in the entire month. So maybe tell me, what have you guys been doing? Have you already broken your New Year's resolutions, or are they going well? Have you got some goals and intentions for this year? Tell us about that in the comments below. So today we are going to be looking at 15 phrases which are all about new beginnings, a chance to turn the page, starting new projects. Really great for starting a new year, basically. So let's get started. So the first phrase I have today, it's actually just a word in this case, is to reboot. And basically, this is usually used to talk about computers, like rebooting the system. But we can use this about ourselves. It's basically to start something again, and usually to do this in a different or new way. So you might say, oh, this marketing strategy really needs a reboot. Or, for example, this project needs to be rebooted. We need to think about this differently. So it basically means to do something differently in a new way. Number 2 is to start with a clean slate. To start with a clean slate. A slate refers to a board. So basically, slate was what we would originally have written on before we had computers and all this technology. We wrote on slate a long time ago. And basically, when you wiped the slate, you would completely delete everything. So if we say we're starting with a clean slate, it means we've wiped everything from the past away. We're not thinking about that, or we're not referring to it very much. It essentially means let's hit reset, let's start completely from the beginning. So you could say, although last year had its problems, we're going to start with a clean slate and we're going to be more positive and not think about that. Number 3 is to turn over a new leaf. If you turn over a new leaf, you essentially are starting a new project, starting some sort of new period in your life, new stage in your life, or a new habit, a new way of living. So we often say, oh, I'm not going to eat all that junk food anymore, or I'm not going to be so unfit. I'm going to turn over a new leaf, join the gym, start eating more healthily. Normally it's the new year when we have all these great intentions, isn't it? So an example sentence would be, I'm going to turn over a new leaf and join the gym. Last year I wasn't very fit, but this year I'm turning over a new leaf and I'm starting a new Get Fit regime. Maybe that sounds like one of you. Do tell us in the comments below. The next one is to take stock of something. When we take stock of something, we reflect upon it, we consider how good it was, we consider pros and cons, things like that. We're considering it really, or examining it carefully. It's like a bit of an evaluation. So if you say, I'm taking stock on the last 10 years and deciding in which direction to go now, it means you're reflecting upon it. You're weighing up how things have been, how happy you feel, what you think you should do now, that kind of thing. For example, you could say, after taking stock of their finances, the couple decided that they needed to make some cutbacks. Or you could say, after 2 years teaching overseas, Lucy decided to come home and take stock of her life. Number 5 is a great one. This one is to get a new lease of life. To get a new lease of life. And this means renewed energy, renewed positivity. If you get a new lease of life, something happens to you which makes you feel much more positive and happier, and you get this new kind of burst of energy. So sometimes it could be that you solve a health problem, or you get a new job, or you start a new relationship, and an old relationship. All sorts of things where basically we have like a new feeling of energy and positivity, to get a new lease of life. You could say, this company has got a new lease of life since the new director made a lot of positive changes. Or you could say, my dad got a new lease of life after he had his hip operation. Number 6 is to blow away the cobwebs. When you blow away the cobwebs. And essentially, cobwebs are, of course, those things that spiders make in our houses. Very annoying to dust them away. But basically, it's when we kind of want to get outside usually. We want to have energy from being outside, being fit and active. Sometimes we also say this when we're feeling tired and lethargic, and we might say, do you know what, we need to go for a nice walk in the countryside, or we need to go for a bike ride through the city to blow away the cobwebs. And it's like kind of to energize us almost. Number 7 is out with the old, in with the new. And I think this is fairly self-explanatory. It just means get rid of the old things and start the new. It's like, don't look back, make a positive new start. Out with the old, in with the new. For example, you could say, don't pine over your ex. Out with the old, in with the new. Number 8 is to get a fresh perspective. And basically this means get a new take on something, a new way to look at it. And usually it's easier to do this after you've had some space or a break from that particular thing. You can look at it in a new way. You've almost stood back from it. So we will often say, over the Christmas holiday, I had the chance to reflect and I got a new perspective on this. So it might mean that you see it slightly differently, and usually this is in a positive way. Number 9 is to shake things up, to shake things up. And this is often used to mean we're going to change things, but not completely, but we're going to reorganize, we're going to reorder something. It could also mean in a company to restructure. So if you say, the new boss, I think he's really going to shake things up, that means like I'm going to change things around, I'm going to have new systems or policies in place. And it's for the best. You know, shaking things up can usually be a positive change. It's a way to reorder things, kind of freshen up, all that kind of thing. So you could say, I think the new government are really going to shake things up, and we're going to see some really positive changes socially, culturally, and economically. Let's hope so in the UK. Number 10 is nothing ventured, nothing gained. And basically to venture something is to do it. So if we say nothing ventured, nothing gained, it's like if you don't try, you don't get. It's like if you don't do the thing, you won't get anything. So basically, sometimes, of course, in life there are risks, but if we don't try anything new, we won't get any positive results. So you could say to a colleague, for example, that was undecided about going for a promotion, you could say, give it a try, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The next phrase refers to quitting things which are usually bad for us, like, for example, alcohol, chocolate, Leila, I'm talking to you, caffeine, what else? Lots of things that can be bad for us, even drugs or an addiction, for example, gaming, that kind of thing. So if you stop that thing overnight, you just quit it, we say you've gone cold turkey. You've gone cold turkey, which means you completely quit it. So you might say, right, I'm not just cutting down cigarettes, I'm going cold turkey, I'm throwing the packet away, no more cigarettes. Now, the reason it's called cold turkey is because people who have addictions, usually this is drugs or alcohol, when you quit that particular substance, your skin will become bumpy. It will get goosebumps, what we call goosebumps, the little bumps on the skin that you get when you're also scared, that kind of thing. So it can look like cold turkey, the skin of the turkey when it's cold. Have you gone cold turkey at all on something? Have you tried to quit cigarettes and have gone cold turkey? Tell us about that in the comments below. Number 12 is to bite the bullet. To bite the bullet. This is you have to do something that you're afraid of. It's a bit like take the plunge. You may have heard that expression as well, when you just have to jump into something. To bite the bullet is basically saying just get on with something that you're afraid of or something you find difficult. Again, it's another intention people usually set at the beginning of the new year to do something that they are scared of, like giving a big presentation at work, or, for example, going scuba diving, skydiving, lots of things that people might be afraid of, even smaller things like going to the dentist. So an example sentence would be, I hate gyms, but I'm just going to bite the bullet and sign up. The next phrase is cut yourself some slack. And slack here refers to allowance. It means allow yourself something. Don't be too hard on yourself is basically what this idiom means. Now, when we're trying to set new goals, achieve new things, quit difficult habits, sometimes we don't want to be too hard on ourselves because that can even drive us back to the habits, the bad habits. So sometimes it's a good idea to cut yourself some slack, meaning kind of if you do slip up, if you do have that glass of wine or have that cigarette, if you're mostly doing well, cut yourself some slack. You're still doing better than you were before. It's basically like don't be too hard on yourself, essentially, which I also think is important because, life is hard and we can't always do all the things we want to. The next one is very much related to the previous one. This one is don't beat yourself up, which when we do slip up, when we don't manage to achieve all the things we want to. We will sometimes beat ourselves up and be like, I can't believe you did that, and oh, you're so silly. And we'll often have a lot of negative self-talk. But we would say to our friends, oh, come on, don't beat yourself up. You did it for 2 weeks, or you've achieved that. Never mind, you can always try again. So we would say, don't beat yourself up. The last one is to kick the habit. And this is when you have managed to quit that difficult thing, the alcohol, smoking, caffeine, gaming addiction, whatever it is, you have managed to actually stop doing that. And we would say, well done, you kicked the habit. Or of course, you can say it's something you want to do. I want to kick the habit. So good phrase to know for finally ending those difficult addictions. Right, everyone, thank you for watching, and I do wish you lots of good luck with your New Year's resolutions and with all the things you want to do or the habits you want to kick in 2024. Best of luck with all of that, but don't beat yourself up too much. We'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.